Hello, welcome to Sense and Nonsense. My name is Tharyan and you're watching the Motown India show. We all know that MG Motor India has launched a fascinating small electric car that goes by the name of MG Comet. Yes, we got an opportunity to drive it. The company was nice enough to send us the car and we drove it for a short time. And I must say, I'm truly impressed. But for one thing, the charging of electric cars, I'm not talking about two-wheelers, but charging of cars in cities in India can be a little taxing, especially for those of us who are living in flats and apartments where there are no dedicated parking areas with charging slots out there. So if someone has got a big home with a garage like they have it abroad in many places, which has a dedicated charging outlet, then it's simple. But for me, thankfully I had a 16 ampere socket just very close to the outer wall, which I connected through a very lengthy wire and out to the car, which is parked in the parking lot. Now, if you notice, this kind of a jugaad is not very convenient. And just imagine if it were to rain, what would happen? I mean, how do you charge it? And touching all those electrical wires and all can be dangerous during the rainy season. And it is not only the jugaads that we have to do in order to connect the car for charging, but the fact is this car does not come with fast charging. To charge it fully to around 200 to 230 kilometer range, you need to charge for at least 6 to 7 hours. And that's a bit too much for us. So that's the only flip side to an electric car. But I must tell you, the car per se is amazing. The fact is that it can actually seat 4 people, though it's just got 2 doors. It's boxy to look at, but kind of cute also. But the most important thing about this car is that it is very much like a car. Unlike the Revas I've driven or the E2O from Mahindra, they were electric vehicles, but they were pretty shabby if you were to compare that technology with this technology. It's not just the battery I'm talking about, but also everything about the car, the comfort it offers, the drivability, the features it has, the looks it has. It is perhaps for the first time in India, we have a small electric car that looks like a car, that feels like a car, that drives like a car, and it is a car. So let's take a closer look at this MG Comet. This small electric car from MG Motor India has been priced at around 7.98 lakh. Well, this is an introductory price, and this makes it the most affordable electric car in the country. You have the Tata electric car range that starts from around 9 lakh onwards, goes up till 16, 17 lakhs. Then you have the Citroën EC3 that is also costing around 11 to 12 lakh onward. So if you look at it, slightly boxy but very cute looking. Yes, it is boxy. It's a little tall car approach in its design. But if you see the front and the rear, they are quite classy. In fact, the front, this MG logo, it kind of glows, especially when you're charging it and when you switch on or switch off. This kind of glows. And this entire strip is an LED strip here. Then you have lights here, they're all LED. And at the rear too, it's all LED. Let me also tell you that this vehicle has a range of around 230 kilometers on a single charge. And very, very important, when you start charging it, the light on the rotary knob glows there. The little board out there mentions it's charging, but to ensure that the vehicle starts charging, you have to pull up the hand gear lever to the full. Now, if you don't do that, it doesn't charge. And not to miss, you have the LED turn indicators on the ORVMs. The outside door handle come with chrome. And then it has these aero wipers. The car has a length of 2974 mm, a width of 1505 mm and a height of 1640 mm. It has a wheelbase of 2010 mm and interestingly a turning circle of 4.2 meters. The maximum power generated is 40 HP and a maximum torque of 110 Newton meters. Tires are pretty small, it's around 145 by 70 R12. In front, it has disc brakes. At the rear, it has drum brakes. The front suspension comprises McPherson strut and the rear multi-link coil suspension. The MG Comet has a feature of keyless entry. That means you can have your key, you can put it in your pocket and just step in. The moment you are near the car, it recognizes that you have the key with you. The doors are open. All you have to do is just pull the handle and get inside. Once you're inside, of course, the car is all ready and you can keep this key in your pocket or elsewhere. And incidentally, this key is rather cute looking. If you take a closer look, it is quite a sophisticated key. The moment you get inside, there is this message on the screen here. It says press brake to start. So you press it once and it says press brake pedal again. So you press it again and it's ready. The sign ready comes there. So it means it's ready to move. Now, in order to engage the gears here, there is a rotary knob here. So for reverse, neutral and drive, please note that this is an automatic. You have to make sure that your foot rests on the brake pedal while you change these gears here. So it's equally important that before you start off, you wear your seat belt and you can change the rotary knob to the D drive and move on. At rest, best is to put it on neutral. In fact, while stepping out of the car too, it has to be first put on neutral. And incidentally, it has a little quirky way of shutting off, which I'll explain. Suppose you are back from your drive. Now you need to shut off the engine. You have to open the door and there is a button here somewhere. Once you press it, you have to get off and lock. So this is a little quirky about this vehicle, that you have to stretch out here and press that little button there. When you step into the cabin, you realize this car is all about following the minimalistic pattern of life. Yes, everything is small, tiny, yet sophisticated, and yet very uber. Now, it's very unlike those small cars we talked about, the very small cars. This is a very sophisticated car. You get to see these two 10.25 inches screens. These are two screens which are kind of attached. One here is the infotainment panel. Here you have the instrument cluster, or in fact it gives you all the displays for the driver. What else? You get a very sporty steering wheel and it's got a loud MG logo here. There are audio controls here. There are buttons here to shift the settings here on the screen in front of you. Then you have the AC controls. The ducts have a very chrome border around it, and that gives it a very sophisticated look. The seats and the cabin colors are pretty decent. There's a lot of headroom. There's a lot of knee room. In fact, the car is small, but it provides ample space. You have the sun visor here, and each one has vanity mirrors which are good by itself. There you go. And a pretty large windscreen. So overall, I would say for a small tiny car like this, it's offering a lot of exciting features. The seats, as I mentioned, are very comfortable. They don't have a detachable headrest, but it's kind of integrated, so you have to live with that. So let's just step back and see what's to offer at the rear. Remember, this is a two-door car, so in order to get to the rear seat, you need to put down the front seat. Now let's see how easy it is to get inside to the rear portion of the car. A single touch here, all you have to do is shift, and you can notice there's a huge space for ingress. So someone as tall as me, I'm 5'10", can also get in. So I'm at the back, and I must say that I'm a little surprised by the space out here. It's not all that bad. Of course, the positioning is a little awkward where your knees come up, but overall the space for the person at the rear is quite good. And look at the headroom, it's so much, and the seats are also quite comfortable, not the most luxurious ones. But remember, we are talking about a minimalist approach to life where we conserve the earth, we respect the earth, and we ensure that we move around using a car or a bike, but it's electric, yet it is minimalist in approach. So overall, pretty good, pretty decent. And remember, these two seats can split 50-50, so they can go down in case you want to keep some luggage, because there's no boot area as such. So if two of you are traveling or three of you are traveling, one seat at the rear or both seats at the rear can come down. We'll just show you that. So I would say I'm fairly impressed by these seats at the rear and the kind of comfort it provides. Now, even to get out from the rear seat, the handle out here, the lever is designed so well that the person, without anybody's help, can just get out. All he has to do is pull the lever towards him, and he's got enough space to get out. Now, isn't that cool? I'd say that it's amazing. As I mentioned earlier, there is no boot space as such. There's a teeny weeny bag which contains the charger. This is my bag. Now, yes, if you want to keep a suitcase or sort, you can bring it down. Now look at the kind of space which is there. It's amazing. Now, real big suitcases can be fitted here. So if two of you are traveling, or to pick up a single person from the airport or the railway station, this car will do wonders. And imagine you can get out of all the traffic snarls by just moving in this small car. Amazing attitude and amazing benefits for a car like this. I hope you liked watching this episode of Motown India's Sense and Nonsense. Remember, this car is not just an electric car that serves the purpose of saving our environment and the planet on the whole, but it also will ensure that the entire congestion on roads is reduced to a great extent. Technically speaking, we don't need big cars for daily commute. They don't make sense in today's world, especially when you're commuting. You can buy these cars as your first car to travel inter-city or on highways, but when it comes to cities per se, which are getting more and more congested as traffic is increasing because of more vehicular population, it is important that we buy our vehicles sensibly. So I personally feel that the MG Comet can be an ideal first car, second car or your third car.